Welcome everyone, I'm Maureen Dinkins. I am the owner and founder of Clarity Global Yoga. Clarity Global Yoga is located in Orlando, Florida, and we do online, in-person, and hybrid yoga teacher trainings. We do supplemental courses, we have online yoga classes, we do yoga trips to India, workshops, and much, much more. So today is my free class. I always talk about a topic on yoga, and this one is a good one. How yoga elevates your health and happiness. How can a daily yoga practice elevate your health and happiness? I know that many years ago I was on antidepressants. I had tried different antidepressants. I had done Zoloft, Paxil, and one other. And of course, they weren't a solution. And when I really dug into yoga and I started practicing yoga, I got off my antidepressants. My mood got better. I started dedicating myself to a daily practice. My endorphins started to lift me up. It took many years of practice to get from where I was to where I am now, and that was 20 years ago. So let's get started and let's dive into this PDF so that you guys can learn how to use yoga to elevate your health and happiness. All right, so let's get started. How Yoga Elevates Your Health and Happiness. I'm your host, Maureen Dinkins, owner of Clarity Global Yoga. I've been teaching yoga for over 20 years. I've been practicing since 1999, and I have made 7 trips to India to better myself as a yoga teacher, a yoga student, and just to increase my overall health and happiness. So, that's a little bit about me. And I already told you a little bit about our company, Clarity Global Yoga. Check us out on the internet. So let's get to our first slide. This first slide talks about yoga for health. Now, we all know that yoga poses can help us become more flexible. I mean, one of the first excuses somebody gives me when they find out I'm a yoga instructor is they say, oh, well, I would like to do yoga, but I can't touch my toes. The first excuse, well, yoga has nothing to do with about touching your toes. Yoga will teach you how to touch your toes, but that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to find bliss. But the first stage of yoga is practicing asanas. Now, if you're going to a yoga studio regularly and you're taking your yoga classes and you're doing all those poses and then you're going home and you're living your regular life again, and you're not living by the yogic principles, or you've never even heard of what the 8 limbs are, you're not practicing yoga. You're just doing aerobics. I know you say you're going to yoga every day, but you are just practicing aerobics. You are just exercising. But when you start to learn about the 8 limbs of yoga, that's when you start learning about yoga. Now, the physical aspect of yoga is called asanas. Asanas are postures. The word asana literally means seat. We do the asanas so that the body becomes so comfortable sitting for long periods of time so that we can meditate and learn to control our minds. But the asanas are what we call the front door to yoga. They are the first thing you experience in a yoga practice. So once you experience the asanas, you should start seeking a little bit more. Now, it doesn't matter how long you've been going to asana classes. If you don't know the 8 limbs of yoga, then you are not practicing yoga. You're just doing aerobics with stretching. So why do we perform the asanas? Asanas are a kriya or a cleansing technique for the body. Asanas are not there to help you look or feel more beautiful, although that is a side effect. The asanas are there to help cleanse and heal the body. You've got stiff joints, you've got a stuck digestive system, you have migraines, you have injuries, you have scar tissue. We all come to yoga with these things. And what yoga does is it helps heal the body. The twisting postures wring out the digestive system. The deep bending postures help break through scar tissue and old injuries. The jumping and the reaching is not just stretching, but physical strength exercises. And the more we move our bodies, the more motion that we give our bodies, the less likely we are to lose that motion. Think about your everyday movements, even if you go to a gym or workout, right? You're on the treadmill, you're only moving in this direction, right? Legs moving forward, arms moving side to side. Maybe you're doing some weights, right? And then you get in a car and you sit, and then you go to work and you sit and you just walk. You're not using the full range of motion of your body. You're not using the full range of motion of your arms and shoulders. You are not using the full range of motion of your knees, hips, and ankles. You're not even using the full range of motion of your neck. So when we practice asanas, we are forcing the body to use its full range of motion, even back bending. You probably don't do back bends. You probably never bend your spine in a backward motion. Why not? Why not? Why are you not doing and using your body in those full range of motions? Why aren't you using your body in ways that it can move in all directions? So many times I start teaching a yoga class, an asana class, and I'll ask the students to reach their arms above their head and press their palms together. Yeah, and not many of them can do it. Straightening the arms, pressing the palms together, and bringing the arms up over the head. A lot of people can't even bring their palms together because they have not used that range of motion in so long that their body has forgotten. And that's what the asanas do. They bring your body back to health. The first stage of asanas is learning the postures and just trying to figure out what your body should be doing. The second stage of learning the asanas is starting to break down scar tissue and get back that full range of motion. And then the third stage of the asanas is really digging deeper into the physical aspects of your body and where we hold our emotions. We hold our emotions inside of our bodies. And when we do full range of motion, we start to release some of those emotions. Well, people ask me, what do you mean we hold emotions in our bodies? Think about your childhood. Maybe you had a great childhood. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you had some parents that were very hard on you or weren't available for you, and they said things like, boys don't cry, or just suck it up, or I'll give you something to cry about. Money doesn't grow on trees. All of these things, right? You can't do that. Don't do that. Don't do this. Oh, I'm going to scream at you for spilling the milk. And when we weren't allowed to react in a way that we felt appropriate, we shoved it down into our body, and it manifested as discomfort, as disease, as illness, because we never worked through it, because it's emotional. Emotional is a physical reaction, not a mental reaction. So when our emotions are not allowed to be released, like a pressure cooker, it builds up and up and up. And like a pressure cooker, yoga teaches us to release psst, 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 little by little those emotions so that we don't have a mental breakdown or a flood of emotions. So practicing your asana not only gives you full range of motion of your body and how it should move, giving that back to you, but it also helps you work out some of the junk that you've pushed down into your body over the years from beliefs that no longer serve you. And if you really want to use yoga as a tool to improve your health, you must practice asanas 5 to 6 days per week. You cannot build upon your practice if you're practicing 1 or 2 days a week or less. I remember in the beginning when I first started practicing yoga, I would go like 3 or 4 days a week and then I wouldn't go back for weeks. And I remember when I would practice yoga, how much better I would feel. And when I finally dedicated myself to a 5 to 6 day a week practice, that happened in 2007, the first time I went to India. When I finally dedicated myself to that, that blissful feeling continued. And the negative thoughts started to become less and less and less. So you'll not only notice your progress if you practice asanas 5 to 6 days a week, but you'll notice less inflammation in your body and your digestive system will start to work better. You might even notice that you sleep better. You might even notice that your moods are better. I mean, there's so many benefits to practicing asanas 5 to 6 days per week. So what about the next steps? Like once you learn the asanas, what are some of the next steps that you should take? I mean, you've been going to asana classes for weeks, months, maybe even years. And what are the next steps that you should take, to help improve your practice? Well, after practicing asanas for many, many months or years uninterrupted, curiosity starts to creep in. You start noticing how your diet affects your asana practice. You start feeling healthier and happier. You start to realize that there might be something more to this yoga practice worth learning. Maybe you've started listening to your yoga teachers and they're talking about, bliss or something a little bit more, more than just the physical practice, something that's more mental, something that's more spiritual. Maybe they've dropped these little nuggets on you and you're starting to say, maybe this is more than just a physical exercise. Maybe there's something more to these asanas. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which is the book of yoga. Okay, it was written about 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. And in this book, it still remains in its entirety unchanged. This book explains what yoga is and how to practice it to gain benefits that lead to a blissful life. That's the purpose of yoga, or one of the purposes of yoga. Wait till we get to the next slide and you find out the true purpose of yoga. Well, what do the Yoga Sutras say? Right? What do the Yoga Sutras say? You haven't read the book. The book's in Sanskrit, but it is translated into English and many, many languages. So the first line of Patanjali's book, the Yoga Sutras, says, "And so we begin." And the second verse, or shloka, says, "Yoga is the settling of the mind chatter," or yoga is to stop the fluctuations of the mind. That is the only purpose of yoga, to stop the fluctuations of the mind. How many times a day are you in reaction mode? How many times a day are you reacting to what life throws at you instead of creating the life that you want? How many times a day you're like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And your mind is just going, 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 jumping from place to place to place. We call that the monkey mind because the monkeys swing from tree to tree to tree to tree. They cannot hold a thought for long periods of time. Now, maybe they can, but as humans, we are losing that ability. And through the practice of yoga, through regular daily yoga practices, we can help stop the fluctuations of the mind and letting the mind just drift off and go in all wrong directions. We can start to control the mind and we can start to control our thoughts. This is the main purpose of yoga, to settle the mind chatter so we can direct our lives instead of living a life of reaction. Now, one who controls the mind controls the whole universe. This was said by Swami Vivekananda. Now, if yoga is practiced to settle the mind chatter, then how can we control the mind? How does that work? Well, asanas require mental and physical focus. When performed properly, breath is there, drishti is there, bandhas are there. Too much to think about things off of the mat. So what I'm saying is that when you're first learning the asanas, the postures, you're so focused on, is my hand in the right place? Am I still breathing? Am I looking at the right spot? That's your drishti, your gazing point. And your bandhas are your energy locks. You're squeezing your pelvic floor. You're engaging your abdominals. All of these things, asanas and the deep breathing with sound and the gazing points and the squeezing of the lower pelvic floor and the abdominals, all of these things are happening in your asana practice. And if they are not, and you don't know about them, sing, you're just doing an aerobics class. This is what makes yoga different. The consistency of the breath, the consistency of the focus of the eyes, the consistency of the drawing the energy up into the body by engaging the bandhas. There's too much to think about in your asana practice to worry about what's going on off of your mat, to worry about what's going on in the outside world. That's none of your business while you are practicing asana. And this is a form of self-care, tuning out the outside world so you have the time, you take the time to work on yourself. Now, when the body is healed through the practice of the asanas, one can sit for long periods of time in meditation. Remember when I said yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, or yoga is to settle the mind chatter. So once we've worked the asanas for long periods of time, meditation becomes more attainable. Your asana practice is a moving meditation. But once the body has been healed and the mind is calmer, we can sit for long periods of time comfortably and practice meditation. practice clearing the mind, practice directing the mind. And then the next stage would be breath work. Breath work in yoga is called pranayama. And pranayama aids in the next level of quieting the mind and soothing the body. Now, pranayama is a little different than breath work because pranayama practices are specific to yoga, and there are several different breathing exercises that aid your yoga practice, that help calm and soothe the body, that help calm and soothe the mind, that clear the sinuses, clear the digestive system, clear out the bottom of the lungs. All of these things through pranayama occur. But pranayama is not recommended until you have been practicing asanas for a long period of time, until the nervous system has also been calmed through the asana, meaning your body's not shaking when you're trying new asanas so much. Your body is strong, it is flexible, it is light, it is lean. This is the time to start practicing pranayama. And it may be many years. It took me many years before I started a pranayama practice, many years of practicing asana before I started a meditation practice. The asanas were there to help me go from depressed and anxious and, mentally unfocused to more physically fit, more aware of my body, more clear in my mind. Now, when asana, pranayama, and meditation are practiced daily, the mind becomes calm and we start to choose our thoughts, therefore directing our lives instead of living in reaction mode. I mean, you're either on autopilot or reaction mode. That's most of the people out there. Most of the people in the world are living in delusion. They are not living in a direction where they want their lives to go. They're just reacting to things. And when you can calm the mind, when the body is healed, when you can take the time to sit and practice your pranayama and your meditation, you start to realize that you can choose your thoughts. And when you choose your thoughts, you can start to choose to guide your own life. And this is what yoga gives to us. This is one of the greatest gifts we get from a holistic yoga practice. And through these simple practices, mental focus occurs, allowing us to work towards personal achievements. Through the attainment of personal goals, we reach bliss. And bliss is samadhi, okay? So samadhi is the state that we want to get to. We don't want to have to wait till we croak to reach samadhi. We want to reach samadhi now. And samadhi, you felt samadhi before. Samadhi are those tiny little moments, those tiny, beautiful moments, maybe when your first child or your children are born. That first time you get that puppy that you're taking home. When your child walks, when you see a beautiful sunrise or sunset. Those beautiful little moments that are not big moments. The beautiful little moments that we want to string together like a pearl necklace, so that when we have all these beautiful moments strung together, we create a beautiful life. And then Ayurveda. What is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is the diet of a yogi. It is the medicine of a yogi. And Ayurveda is considered the science of life. So in India, Ayurveda is their medicine. Now, yes, of course, they have Western medicine there, but they start with Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the science of life, and through eating certain foods recommended by an Ayurvedic practitioner or an Ayurvedic doctor, according to your dosha or genetic makeup, it helps to soothe, detox, and reduce inflammation in the body. And there are many self-care practices of Ayurveda that are meant to heal and keep you healthy. For example, panchakarma. This is several days of light soups with lentils, daily oil massages, and lots of rest. Probably lots of pranayama and other types of meditation exercises and kriyas. Kriyas are cleansing techniques for the mind and body. And that would be the first step, right? If you have a lot of inflammation, you have a lot of buildup in your digestive system, starting with panchakarma, which I think lasts anywhere between 7 and 11 days, is a good place to start. Then we have what is called a sattvic diet. These are specific foods prescribed to heal your ailments. So dependent upon your body type, the Ayurvedic practitioner or doctor will recommend foods that will help to heal and soothe your body and keep the effects of that detox, that panchakarma, like longer, extended, right? And you can also do oil massage with all different types of oil, coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil. It just depends upon your dosha or genetic makeup, but coconut oil seems to work for all doshas. They warm up the coconut oil, they massage every part of your body, including your scalp and your head, and they have you lay down and then they pour the warm oil on your forehead. It feels so amazing. And then you sit in a warm box with your head out, and it opens up your pores and allows your body to absorb all of the oils. And when your body absorbs these oils, coconut oils or all these natural oils, what it does is it helps to break down scar tissue, it helps to soften the muscles, it heals the skin, and it really just helps to lubricate your joints. Kriyas are cleansing techniques aimed at cleaning different orifices in the body. So there are different types of kriyas. There's also meditation kriyas, which help clear the mind. But these are physical kriyas, which will help clear out your sinuses, help clear up your throat and digestive system. You know, anytime you brush your teeth or clean your ears, these are considered kriyas. But there are deeper ones that you can do, also cleansing the colon. So these are different types of cleansing techniques to help assist that panchakarma, that sattvic diet, that oil massage, that detox that you can get from an Ayurvedic practice. And then one way to clean the mind is through Sanskrit chanting and meditation. And this helps to clear the mind of negative or self-defeating thoughts. Not just meditation, but Sanskrit chanting. Sanskrit chanting is a language from God. So when you chant in Sanskrit, like Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha or Om Namah Shivaya, or even longer chants, it vibrates in your body and it not only heals you, but it helps to clear out the mind, clear out those repetitive thoughts that are no longer serving us. And elevating your contentment. How does yoga elevate your contentment? Well, Santosha means contentment in Sanskrit, and being content with where we are in life at this present moment is a practice of yoga. The mind can only comprehend the present moment. Yes, we think about the future. Yes, we think about the past, but we're not living in the past or future. We are living in this moment. So, cultivating contentment in this moment is a yoga practice. That is what Santosha means. And it's not to say that we stay stagnant in this place in our lives, just that we should not condemn where we are in this life and to learn to enjoy each moment as it comes. Now, through the practice of tapas, tapas is the next stage. Tapas is also a yoga practice, a yearning to seek more. We aim to elevate our satisfaction in this life at this present moment. Tapas allow us to seek more meaning in this life so that we do not become bored and we can continue to seek personal growth, right? Continuing to study the ancient yogic text, continuing to study the asanas, continuing our personal growth through taking more classes and learning more about ourselves, maybe going on a retreat or even studying with some great stages in India. Constantly leveling up and learning more is what tapas are, and Santosha is continuing our contentment with this present moment. Now, thriving with yoga, right? The ultimate goal of practicing yoga many years uninterrupted as prescribed by Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is to reach samadhi or bliss. We cannot reach a state of bliss if our body is ill or our mind is weak. Yoga strengthens the body and the mind so that we can connect with our spiritual self, because it is our spiritual self that guides us to where we want to go in life. And they say meditation is listening to God, while prayer is asking or talking to God. A daily practice of yoga, pranayama, meditation, Ayurveda, and Santosha will help us direct our lives rather than living in reaction mode or automatic pilot. We don't want to just kind of go through life, numb. We want to experience life in all of its beauty. And that's the best way to experience life, because through the practices of yoga, we start to uncover how beautiful life really is. And that contentment comes easier and easier through a daily practice of yoga, pranayama, meditation, and Ayurveda. Now, in conclusion, what are the benefits of a daily yoga practice? First of all, daily asanas, right? The poses. They can help heal injuries, strengthen the limbs, and reduce inflammation in the digestive organs. Great, great reasons to practice asanas. But then, once you've been practicing asanas for a long period of time, months, years, and regularly 5, 6 times per week, you start to notice a calmer mind, a more comfortable body, and your body and your mind are starting to prepare you for meditation practices. And through the practices of pranayama and meditation, they help to clear the mind of fluctuating thoughts so that we can become better at focusing on the life we want to create instead of living the life that we have in reaction mode. And then through the practices of Ayurveda and yoga, which heal the body and provide the physical self-care needed for a long, healthy life. There's nothing you can't recover from. It doesn't matter how far down the road you are in ill health, you can recover from it. But it takes time, it takes work, it takes patience. And a well-rounded yoga practice teaches us to create the life, the body, and the the experience we want to have to reach bliss in this lifetime. Because living life in bliss and joy is more important than causing chaos for ourselves and others. So, this is how you can elevate your life, not just your health, not just your level of happiness, but your entire life through the practice of yoga. And once you start to learn that there is more to yoga than just the asanas, your whole life starts to change. And this red carpet has been rolled out in front of you, a path towards increasing the quality of your life. I know that's what I want for my life. And I hope that's what you want for your life too. So I want to tell you that, we have lots of online courses. Hit up our website, clarityglobal.org, and check out what classes we have to offer online, in person, events, all different types of programs for you to start diving deep into this type of information. So I just want to thank you for joining me today. Click the link underneath this video to find our website and check out our offerings. We'd love to have you join the Clarity Global community, whether you live in Florida or beyond. And again, my name is Maureen Dinkins, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.